This video was brought to you by Markus Bil, Elbilmek, ABRP, Stormberg, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We're now in the garage and I'm going to show you guys that we're actually getting grid rewards right now. I wasn't planning on shooting video right now. Well, I mean, I was planning on shooting another video inside the car, and then I just noticed this, that the EC box pulsates blue, which means that it's either smart charging or something else. Well, I mean, technically it's smart charging. If it's pulsating white, it's just normal charging. And you see, the car I'm testing now, it's called Torres EVX, where it's from KGM, that's the company. Used to be Sangyong, something, you know, the Korean company. But this car, I don't have app connected to it, but I added it as, well, I added everything, well, I can show you. It is something called non-integrated. So this time we caught it live. I also had grid rewards earlier, but then I was out driving and I noticed it. Okay, wait. So see, we had 83%, taking 10.3 kilowatt. So the car will finish in 1 hour and 17 minutes, but then most likely grid reward will end before that time, which means that I'll be able to utilize all the grid reward thing. And you see, since this car has not been added in the app or anything, Tibber doesn't know how many percent we have, unlike if you added a Tesla. So it will just charge, and then hopefully we can harvest as much grid reward as possible. So you can see here on the phone here that it says down there that grid reward is in action. You see, we're charging at 12 kilowatts. So I wonder if I tap down the speed, if that will change anything, but whatever. Sorry for the little rattling noise. It's the camera making some focus noise. But okay, so if we click here and then go to reward, you can also see here supporting the grid charging. And then it also says that there is a different price that I pay for versus the regular price. So you see here your devices. I just configure Soul EV, the classic Soul. I don't know why it is. Yeah, I can show somewhere else, but it's supposed to, I mean, it's for configured as a 64 kilowatt hour Soul. Well, I wanted to have the classic Soul, but whatever. But this has been configured to be, let me see, yeah, it has been configured to be a non-integrated car without app, let's say a classic Ioniq or something. So that even works. You don't have to have a car with an app. But here you can see the charging plan, that it has been planned to do grid reward now, and then tomorrow, or actually later than during the night, it's going to do smart charging, and then we finish charging during the night. But wow, so you can see here that go back over. I've earned some money. This is mostly just smart charging, but I also have all time here some grid rewards. So I'm not sure how it has been categorized, but yeah, 119 NOK. If you wanna just oh, I think it ended. Wait, let me see. I don't dare to start the car. Start the car. Yeah, grid reward ended. So I don't know when it started, but usually grid rewards last for only around half an hour. So, which means that what you can do is that you can just camp with a car with 50% battery, right? Or even lower, maybe 20-30% if you can have another car plugged in. Like actually at my home, I have 3 of these EC boxes. So if I have a car I don't use, I can just keep it plugged in, and then if grid reward is needed, it will just charge on 1 or more cars. So yeah, and also previously I also had I just had a screen recording of grid rewards happening on the Model 3. Then it was better integrated. Well, I mean, actually it doesn't matter. It was integrated also with the app, and then Tibber knows how many percent state of charge the Highland had. But this is the first time I've seen it that it also supports in the non-integrated. So it means that even if you have a classic Ioniq, you can camp it at 50% and you can even make some money on it. Isn't that freaking awesome? Okay, it's been a couple of days now, and see, now I have 2 Model Ys parked here, plus the press car I'm borrowing is a Fiat 600e. But guys, remember that I offered airport service, airport shuttle and parking. And these are two of my followers who are now on vacation. And I'm actually making money on them. Isn't that crazy? Because the problem I found out is that eventually I run out of not out of juice, but out of battery space, because the press car that I'm borrowing, I tend to, I have to, oh, sorry, there's a little toddler here, yeah. But that car, I need to control more about when it needs to be ready, you know, like for example, tonight, if everything goes as planned, I'm gonna drive a trip, so that's why I cannot camp it. But these cars here, I can camp them. Sorry for the noise. These cars, I can camp them with 50% battery or whatever, and then it will just stay plugged in. And then once it's been selected for grid reward, it will just make money and while charging. So yeah, I also wonder, hey, so do I actually make money on the grid reward? What about the grid fee? Well, actually, I can show you. It actually the reward is higher than the grid fee. And depending on what car you have, you might need to charge it anyway, right? So a reminder to you guys, I still have plenty of space. So if you preferably live in Norway and you are going on vacation soon, you can come to me if you want to park. The way it works is that you come over, first you have to contact me, email me at teslabjorn@gmail.com, and we can arrange this. You have to provide me with the date and time of well, departure for the flight and then arrival. And you come over here first. I ride with you. I prefer to just drive then over to the airport and then drop you off, and then I drive it back here, and then I'll be farming grid reward. Actually, one of the guys here, he also let me test the car. So I'm going to test some auto parking and maybe some other stuff. He has autopilot, and we're going to see now how good the Tesla auto parking is. So maybe I'll also do some range tests. And then, yeah, I can show that I still have plenty of space. There will be up to 3 of these airport cars parked at the same time. And eventually, once one disappears, then another arrives, right? So I still have plenty of space. I could probably park at least 6 or 7 or maybe 8 even. I just need a little bit of space so I can get in and out of the press car here. Other than that, you know, plenty of space. So just go for it. You can use my service. This is a limited service I offer. Eventually I might say no, but there are plenty of people traveling during summer, and I don't take any money for it. So you can be saving lots of, actually several hundred euros or 7,000 NOK in parking. But okay, so it is a bit hot. I will go in the garage nice and chill, and I can show you how I set up this, because I actually don't have app support for these. And the same with the KVM, I didn't have app support, but you can still get grid reward. Well, we're in the garage, nice and cold. We put this bell inside the house. It was making too much noise, sorry. But I'll show you something weird here, is that I had grid reward today, and when I look at it earlier today, it was showing. And you see, it's kind of weird, but the U5, that is just whatever car is outside there. And then the Soul EV is the one that was configured with Soul, that is inside here and is now connected to the Fiat 600e. And then when I look at this earlier, there would be something different here, but it's gone now. But fortunately, I have a recording here, so we can see earlier today what it looked like. Okay, this was not during the grid reward thing, but you can go in afterwards and see. I'm not sure why it was messed up and disappeared, but you see here, that green or whatever color it is, that is grid reward. And then the other one, the teal and the brighter color, that is smart charging. And you see that the price is minus 94 øre. It's almost minus 1 NOK, or let's say minus 8 euro cents per kilowatt hour. And then even when you count the grid fee, which is around half of that, then you know it's still worth it. And then here I will show another recording I had earlier. So I had to catch these recordings as they appear randomly. And here also, so it depends. You see, every time there's something grid reward, there's a negative price, and it's lower than the regular spot price. So that's how you make money during the grid reward time. So okay, here you can also see I went inside here, and you can see that it will randomly have these spikes and charge for roughly, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, up to 20 minutes every time there's grid reward. And because of the negative price, now I got the answer after testing it, that does it matter what battery size you have? Well, kind of. It actually matters what kind of onboard charger you have, I claim, because once grid reward is active, you want to charge fast and hog on that negative price. If you have slow charging car, or if I would use my pool, which is technically possible, I would only pull 3 kilowatts, and you do the math, then you don't make that much. But also, I don't know how long the grid reward is supposed to last for other cars, but as far as I've seen here, it seems to last only 10-15 minutes. Maybe for slower charging cars, it will do a different plan and maybe charge for 1 hour. I'm not sure about that. I haven't tested that possibility yet. Well, what this basically means is that if you go to analysis here, you see that for July, if you click here, average price, you break it down and you see that for car charging is extremely low. 8 euro per kilowatt hour is like less than 1 euro cent per kilowatt hour. It is so low, it's so cheap. And then what about the other things here? Well, behavior heating, some of these prices, the reason why they are higher is because like always on is always on. So regardless of what the price goes up and down, I cannot do anything. I cannot try to use energy or whatever when it's cheaper. When it comes to behavior, I believe that the pool is included there. Then I try to use the pool when to heat up the pool when the electricity is cheaper. That's why that average is lower. But the reason why car charging is really low is because grid reward then has a negative price that affects this. And if we go here and see how many kilowatt, you see that we have spent a lot in kilowatt hour also, but the price is way lower. So this was for July, and then for June I also used some grid rewards. Then it was a little bit higher price. It depends, of course, how much you charge off the outside the grid reward or smart charging. And then here is also when I had grid reward, but I think from April and before, then I didn't use grid reward. And they say that then car charging still charged a lot, right? Because I'm quite active. The car charging in general is still lower because I still try to charge, but not with smart charging, but just I try to charge at night or when the price was low. But you see that we now have roughly 80-90% of price of the behavior price, which is the average price, right? Same goes before. If you go here, same day, you see that's roughly 90% of the behavior price. So grid reward will definitely help you save a lot of money, and well, technically you're making money on it, but they just put it in here. This is also interesting. You see that right now we are in a really cheap period where spot price is basically zero, a little bit minus even, and we'll also have that tomorrow. Same here. And also during that time I will run the heat pump for the pool to heat up the pool. So I actually preheated the pool to 29.5 degrees Celsius. I'm going to cool it down soon. I mean, I'm going to set it lower. I can actually just do it now. The way I do it is I can set to, let's say, 24 degrees Celsius only. And then the pool heat pump will not pull any power, just maintaining the temperature at 24 degrees. And the way I set up this for the cars is that, okay, so I have one easy box outside, I have one over there behind the camera, and another easy box here. So those three, they are the three you see, the garage south, north and outside. And if we want to add another vehicle, we have to add it as non-integrated. We can add it with an app and connect it, but because I have these cars in and out all the time, I might not have app support, then it actually works also without app. For example, a classic Ioniq or a classic Soul. So you go to electric cars, you see that I have configured these two cars. You want to add the vehicle, and then, well, I don't know, just Audi. No, there we go with, with the app support. You see that it supports plenty of cars with apps, but you want to go to non-integrated. And then I just chose A-wise because it was on top. But I wonder if maybe I should use an Audi, for example, because it has a bigger battery. Well, no, this is e-tron, Q4 e-tron. Well, yeah, okay, add, for example. And then we click here, and then, yeah, 77 kilowatt hour battery, current battery level. This is, I don't know if it affects or not, because every time you charge on grid reward, it will claim that it charges from 50 to 55%, but it's just estimating the number of kilowatt hour it charges versus the battery size it thinks it is. So I'm not sure if eventually it will stop once it thinks that it is at 100% or 90% or whatever, right? So maybe it's a good idea to to choose a bigger car. I haven't tested that. Or maybe you have to disconnect and connect it, because since this is AC charging and you haven't connected to the app, then Easy Box doesn't know how many percent the car is at unless you hook it on with app. And when you go to reward, you will see that the e-tron popped up there. You click on it, and then here you can also change the charge level, whatever. I just set it to 50%. I'm not sure how that affects the grid reward, but here, smart charging plan. So yeah, it hasn't done any smart charging whatever yet. So you go on the cogwheel here, and then departure time. This is the trick to camp on just whatever level. You go here and you just say no departure time on all of these, because then it will not charge and get ready for a certain time. It will just stay plugged in and camping it until it suddenly triggers grid reward, and then you will make money. And also what I found out is that, well, let me see, it's not only that, I can show you. You have to configure a little bit more. You have to also go back here and then to home. This is kind of clumsy. Like, I had to click many times to find out this. For example, this is garage north. I have to click here, and then on here, car to charge. Yeah, previously it was new ES8. I have to click here, and I want to charge the e-tron, but it doesn't have to be e-tron. So for example, if I take one of the Model Ys and plug it in here, it will suddenly say that the e-tron is plugged in, and then it's ready to support. So if we have set up everything in here, when you go to rewards, it would just say here, ready to support when needed. Now it's ready. And what I found out is that if I am randomly picked for grid reward, it might happen on one of these cars. For example, this well, not the car, but technically, you know, the charging station. If this charging station has been picked for grid reward, I will be farming on it, but it doesn't mean that the whole household, not all three will be picked. I'm not sure if I've seen 2 or more getting picked randomly, but I would assume that if you camp with more cars plugged in, like all 3 of them, there should be a higher chance that one of them gets picked for grid reward. But the danger is that if I go too high on power, I pull, let's say 20 or 30 kilowatt, I trigger the grid fee, the power tariff. And see, this month I'm averaging 15 kilowatts. They take an average of the 3 peaks, so it's kind of complicated. But so you see that I'm roughly around the step 4 or step 5. Yeah, usually I can stay within step 4. I pull around 10 kilowatts for charging, and then whatever other stuff is going with the house pulls that extra. But there's not that high chance that I'm running the pool heater while also charging the car. But even if that happens, it shouldn't trigger too crazy. But you see that if I would make money on grid reward, I could then cause to jump into a higher step, which then increases the grid fee. So it's like they say, winning a will be spinning out. You have to actually get a lot of grid reward to make it worth it. But in my opinion, the steps, they go quite high up, and I don't make that much more. So that's why I'm actually trying to stay within just one car using grid reward for 10 kilowatt. That seems to be the best deal. So now you guys seen how it works. I still need to learn more about this, but at least what I've found out so far is that as long as you have a car with a big battery, you don't have to stay at 90% all the time. You want to have a little bit of headroom to gain grid reward. And with these Tesla, for example, you can keep them maybe at 60%, 70%, and then once you're lucky and get the grid reward, then you make money. And also, it seems like you don't know beforehand when you will get grid reward. So that's also what I've seen, is that I cannot plan ahead and plug in. You know, it's just like you have to be plugged in, and then you get the grid reward randomly. So hopefully this was a useful video for you, and I found it interesting that we can make money on charging. Yeah, but yeah, if I find out more, I will make another video about my findings. So that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.